Good evening and welcome to Letters from the Light Side. My name is Annie Conboy and I'm a spiritual teacher, medium and psychic. And it's lovely to be with you this evening to share the messages from my guides and inspirers and hopefully to bring some clarity to the energy for you so that you can understand what's happening and maybe why it's happening, and what's the help and support that we've got as we go forward over the coming week or so. It's always lovely to tune in and see if I can understand what they're translating for us. And I'm just laughing because I'm just waiting for all the internet connection to come online properly so that I can do this broadcast. As always, Mercury is still retrograde, and when we're in times of Mercury, sometimes our technology can be a little bit hitty-missy. So, good evening if you're watching on Facebook, on my Letters from the Light Side page, and good evening if you're watching on YouTube, on the live stream, and fingers crossed, fingers crossed, it all worked beautifully, perfectly, as it should do. And I'm laughing because I have my one of my main guides here, Rafe. I also have a lovely archangel called Seraphina who works with me sometimes, and and I have some of the Earth's archangels, the guardian angels of the Earth, standing by. I think a room full of angels tonight, which is always lovely to have. But I'm laughing because you may have felt that your connection to your guides and inspirers was a bit hitty-missy this week. You may have kind of wondered, are they really there? Are they still with me? And you may have kind of wondered, is anybody there? Is anybody still with me? Because it's been that kind of week. Communications crossed, signals crossed, wires crossed, whatever way you want to describe it, that maybe the things that should have been happening haven't felt like they quite were happening. We've had another phase of being out of time. We had an upgrade, an energy download at the beginning of the week. And one of the impacts that sometimes happens, and it was quite a heavy one, in the sense that it was here to uplift and to bring healing to us all and to the earth. But sometimes when it's that heavy, it gives us that sense of maybe just being a little bit out of phase. Discombobulated is the word I usually use. Sorry. They're all laughing because I have, it's been a discombobulated feeling. So as this energy's come in, what it's actually done, it distorts our sense of time. So for me particularly, Tuesday I thought it was Wednesday I thought it was Thursday, today I don't know what day I thought it was. Any day but Thursday. But it's that distortion of time that actually takes us out of time for a little while and just gives us the opportunity to retreat a little bit. It gives our spirit the opportunity to retreat, the spirit within, so that it can go, oh, right, where am I? Am I on plan? Am I doing what I'm meant to do? Am I going where I'm meant to go? And, sorry, it's tickling my hair. I just want some laughter. You might have found that there maybe wasn't quite a lot of laughter. That distortion of time just showing us that actually we get very stressed about things happening in a certain way, or things happening in the way that we think they should happen, and every now and again we've got to come out of that and we've got to kind of go, check, am I alive? Am I still here? Am I functioning? is the world still turning, in other words? So this week, if you felt like your world wasn't quite turning the way you expected, it's this energy, this upgrade that's coming in, and it's a very healing energy. It's an energy designed to try to help us to be comfortable with being uncertain. One of the things I think we've left behind as human beings to a greater extent is the flexibility that comes with living with uncertainty. Rafe's always reminding me nothing's set in concrete, and some days I get very annoyed and I say, well, it should be. Why isn't it? And bless him, he always laughs and says, Annie, you're doing it again. Because we have reached a point in our human evolution where we feel like we should be in control of everything. And bless Mother Earth, she does remind us endlessly, we can't be in control of everything. We do our best to be, we hope to be, but actually life isn't like that. There is no control, really. And one of the things that's really been brought to the surface over the past 12 months is that we grapple with our own mortality. We grapple with this idea that we are only here for a time span, and what will happen after that time span. And I always think nowadays that we do the utmost we can to try and fix it, that everything will be sorted when we're no longer here, not realising that the solutions to what happens in the future when we're not here aren't even in our hands. I was talking about my dad this week because, bless him, if he could, he's in spirit, if he could, he would be still busy telling me what to do, how to go on, the ways in which I ought to live my life according to his ideas. Because, bless him, he still wants that influence, that little element of control. Not in a bad way, but control because he cares about me and he just wants everything to go right. So if you think about this week, it's about recognising that ultimately we have to learn to live more comfortably with the uncertainty. We have to learn to live with that recognition that whatever we do, in the end, we will have to depart the planet. So why not make it the best possible experience we can? Sorry, Archangel Ethelial is stepping in. He's the leader, if you like, of the Earth's guardian angels, and he brings you the love, and he brings you the reassurance that it is okay to live in uncertainty, that we can live very well in uncertainty, that if we adopt the day-to-day approach, each day is a blessing, each new sunrise is the beginning of another adventure, and each new sunset is a close and a rest from our uncertainty. He's smiling away because sleep is the ultimate response to uncertainty. It allows us to rest and to replenish ourselves, ready for the next bout of uncertainty. And he's smiling because we struggle so, he thinks, with not loving ourselves enough to recognise it's okay not to know. And all this brings forward the idea that we need to treat time differently. For Ethelial, we focus too much on the material sense of time, the past, the present, the future. We do so much looking in and dragging in the past that gets in the way and muddies our future and doesn't accommodate us being in the now. Just just before I went live, I was like, come on guys, I need the technology to work. And I was very much in the now. And he's laughing because that's the kind of feeling he wants us to bring to our life. When we're in the now, there's a zest to life. An uncertainty, but a pleasant uncertainty that we're gonna get through and do it anyway, and that we can dream more clearly because we're not trying to control whatever the outcomes are. So, all of this stuff might have been bubbling away in your mind this week. That sense of being outside of time, that sense of uncertainty, and the maybe the recognition. Am I putting too much effort and emphasis on my material world and not enough on my spiritual world, on how I can make this journey as fruitful and as positive as possible? Eteliel's view was always, love every second because that's what you get every second. Live every second because that's what you get every second. And he's always brought me that energy of love and said, it might, to you, it might seem like life is not good, but at the moment, you're needing this for whatever reason. So come on, live every second, embrace what you feel. To be human is to feel. To be human is to enjoy these emotions as sources of energy to power you forward. So enjoy it. Why would you stop yourself from feeling any emotion if it's going to break you out of the uncertainty, break you out of maybe a life that is making you feel more uncertain than you need to be, because we do have an aptitude for making ourselves feel really insecure. Rafe is laughing behind me because I have spent periods of my life as the world's worst worrier, worried and anxious and fraught about all sorts of things that in the end don't actually matter. It's life itself that we should be getting high on. It's the fact that we're here and we're having an opportunity to experience. And it doesn't always seem like that when we're in the material stuff and worried about the material stuff. But there is this sense of, look, give it a go. We are resilient. I think that's something we forget. I know Etilia has to keep reminding me, come on, you can survive any of this, your spirit. I forget it, I do. I forget that within me is an internal spark that's going to go on no matter what happens to me personally as the human. There's a bit of me that continues and will continue. So why do I get the worry? Why the worry? And I have to say, I have really understood that. And this week, if your worries have been surfacing, they've been surfacing to help you to recognise that they're pointless in effect. The worst never happens unless you wish it to, really. So Eteliel's sending you a big blast of love, sending me a big blast of love, sending you a big blast of love. I'm going to send it out to ease this constant nagging worry that we seem to have learned to suffer gladly as human beings. I speak to people all the time and I say, oh, how are you doing? And there's this positiveness, and then there's this but. Oh, I'm feeling good, but I do it myself. Yeah, I'm fine, but and then we bring in the focus on what's worrisome, and in the end it's not something to worry about because it's not necessarily ever going to happen. So that's the thing about stepping out of time, out of past, present and future, and being now. when you're just in this moment, then you're not worrying anymore. I'm not worrying about technology because it's working right now. I'm not worrying about the cold weather because right now I've got my fluffy jumper on. It's like, what is now? What is the thing that is occupying me now? Well, what's occupying me now is I'm red hot from all the loving energy that's coming from this room full of archangels. And that's wonderful because everybody can have that. It's not just for me, it's for everybody. We've got guides that inspire us, we've got archangels, we've got we've got the dragons, we've got the star beings, we've got the elementals, we've got so many different non-physical beings ready to surround us with love and help, if we let them in. So stepping out of time, being in the now, is one of the best ways to let them in, because that's how they function. They're not in past, present, future. They're in now, eternal now. So if you want to connect, if you want to make those connections work it so that you get all this lovely energy, step out of time. Let time be something that no longer rules your life in the way it used to. Wrap your head around that everything's happening right now, and that when it does, it's not uncertain because you're only ever in the now. There's no uncertainty really when you're in the now. And I know that sounds a bit contradictory, but that's Eteliel's words. And that's the way he wants you to start thinking about it. Because as we go forward in the energy over the next couple of weeks, we are still getting that undertow of fear and low vibrational energy that's coming from focusing on the worry and focusing on the uncertainty. I really do know it is so difficult to step away from the news, from the personal events, from all of the talk that's going on, and all of the events that are going on a global level with the pandemic and with economy and with all sorts of other issues. Eteliel is constantly clear. We will come through this. We will come through this phase of growth, because that's what this is, a phase of growth, reminding us not to take things for granted. It's a bit of a harsh lesson because we haven't picked up the lesson every time it's come in front of us previously. And we inherit the karmic flow from our ancestors. If they didn't learn the lesson and change things, then that lesson's just going to keep reappearing, and it's reappeared again, and it's reappeared in a big way to remind us that we have to start changing from the inside the ways in which we operate our world, the ways in which we put ourselves together as communities. And here we are, a lovely community connected through the blessing of the internet, but we're also connected through energy. The spirit within connects through our aura energy with everyone else and everything else and the planet itself. And it's time for us to start recognizing that. The process of coming together and as a community working on love, feeling more love towards one another, delivering more love to one another, receiving more love from one another, making the way in which we experience our life here a very different experience for those who are going to be making the decisions when we are long gone. Because this spirit within has a tiny fragment of experiencing to do, and then he's gone back. What's 90 years when you're eternal? It's unbelievably short. It's a nanosecond. And so, if we're going to have a legacy, if we're going to take ourselves forward, then learning to be uncertain, learning to be adaptable and flexible, and learning that we will always thrive in one way or another is really important. And that's this opportunity. So when we're in this more fearful flow of energy, we're restricting our opportunity to remove the uncertainty in a positive way. Uncertainty is the certainty, and we have to get comfortable with that and love ourselves enough to be able to operate in this world on the understanding that we're only here for a given length of time, to maximise our contribution and provide a legacy that the next lot of spirits who come in can take forward. He says it's not difficult to understand in spirit terms, but it's harder as a human being to face that reality and to say, how do I make the best of my 5 years, 50 years, 100 years? How do I do the things that will enhance the lives of those who come after me? I guess that's the hard question. That's the spiritual question for us all to answer. Sorry, I hope you're receiving this energy, because it is red hot here. And it's not because I've got any heating on, it's just so hot. So be comfortable over the next week or two that things are going to be a little bit spontaneous, a little bit random. I call it synchronicity. The things that happen in the right order for me to move forward the way I am best able to move forward. See everything in the next couple of weeks as helping you to worry less, reminding you that you're a resilient person, and reminding you that your life experience has prepared you to cope with anything, because actually that's what we end up doing. We cope. That's what we're good at. That's what's beautiful about being human. The enduring nature of our species. Maybe not in the right ways that we endure sometimes, but we do endure. And that we're all born into being human with that spark of spirit, with all of the opportunities laid before us to grow and to evolve and to experience love. Even in those times when we feel like there's an absence of love, the love is always there. We just haven't clicked into it. Tread lightly over the coming week. We're going into the full moon is on the rise, so you might find your sleep patterns a little bit topsy-turvy. You might find yourself a little bit more emotional. That's the impact of the energy that's been downloaded. Remember, reach out to others as much as you reach out to yourself. Find that lovely resilience within you, so that you know you can turn your hand to anything, and that death's just another door to go through, a welcome rest when it's time to end this particular journey. Thank you for listening. I send you all the Archangel's love and support, and thank you everybody who's watched, whatever way you've watched, live or on catch up. I do so appreciate your comments, and I know that the Archangels will bring me back next week. Hopefully at 8:30. I always have an edge of uncertainty about that, but hey ho. Thank you very much, and have a good week. Take care, everyone.